week, the root of Job's pain is not the loss of his stuff. He lost everything. He lost his wealth, he lost his health, he lost his children, he lost his wife, he lost everything. But the root of Job's pain is not the loss of his stuff. It's not the loss of life as he knew it. The root of Job's pain is his perceived loss of God. He feels like God's out to lunch. God's disappeared. He remembers when life was good, when God was caring and close, and now God seems so distant and unfeeling, so apathetic, so absent. Job never asks, why have I lost everything? I want my stuff back. That's not what he asks. He essentially asks God, why have you left me? Just like everybody else, you've abandoned me in my time of need. I thought I could trust you to be here when things went south. You've left too. You've abandoned me too. He feels abandoned by God and left alone in his pain, alone in his heartache, alone in this world. And so from chapters 3 through 31, Job and his friends try to answer the question, why has God left Job? And there's this dialogue that ensues between Job and his three friends about why God seems to have left Job. And Job's friends all say in their own way that Job is suffering because he's being punished, and that the only way for the pain to stop and for God to come back is for him to get himself right and for him to clean himself up. Job couldn't understand what was happening to him or why it was happening to him, and so he demands an explanation. And after going back and forth with his friends for many chapters, he knew that his friends' answers were wrong. He knew that he wasn't suffering because he had done something bad. He knew that he wasn't being punished. He knew his friends' answers were wrong, so he insisted on a right answer from God, demanded a right answer from God. For 6 chapters, Job gives his opinions on God. He describes God, he evaluates God, and he challenges God to explain himself. And during this entire time, God simply stays silent. He listens to this conversation that's happening between Job and his friends, and he's listening to all of Job's questions, and God remains silent during this time. God's silence is a mercy to Job. It gives Job the space and the freedom to express the way he's actually feeling. God's okay with that. He's okay with you being honest with him. And through all of this, God stays, in a sense, irritatingly silent until he speaks. We are 37 chapters into the book before God finally clears his throat to speak. And in chapter 38, which may be one of my all-time favorite chapters in the Bible, it begins with these words. Then the Lord answered Job from the whirlwind. Isn't that what suffering feels like? Isn't that what pain, living life as a broken person in a broken world with other broken people? That's what it feels like a whirlwind, a topsy-turvy experience. It says, then the Lord answered Job from the whirlwind. Notice that too. He's not answering Job from outside of it, standing above it. He's in it. He's in the storm with him. He's there. He hasn't abandoned Job, and this is what he wants Job to know. I haven't abandoned you. I've been here the whole time. Nothing and no one can be for him what only God can be. He's undone. He's at the end of himself. And what he'll soon realize is that it's only when we come to the end of ourselves that we come to the beginning of God.